There can be only one podcast, and may it be the Prince of the Universe. Hi, folks. I'm Matt.
I'm Bruce.
And I'm still here.
Yay!
Again.
For now.
Okay, so we're going to talk about Dust. It's been over a week since I've read it, and I'm going to get the events screwed up this time. So I'm going to let you take the lead.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, I don't know if you want that.
Yeah, go ahead. No, seriously, I'm going to get the events. I don't have them. I forgot to write them out. I know the events. I don't know what timeline they happened in. Do you want me to do it? Who thinks they can do it?
I was waiting for you to do it.
Okay, well, we'll muddle through it as best we know. Because there's so much going on.
Yeah, they're really.
I'm going to forget. We'll probably have to double back a few times. Anyway.
Yeah, I think so.
This is the end game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now we know who Donald is. We already know who the people in all the silo. We all know that all the characters have been set.
Right.
Silo 1 and Silo 18 have been set. And so we're ready to go. So now it's in game where I think Jules she's the mayor now.
Yes.
They're digging sideways to get to 17.
Right. That's where it starts.
Everyone's really pissed.
Yeah.
Because they're scared, because it's not, you shouldn't be doing
And there's
this.
people that just don't believe.
Yeah.
And there's people who don't believe there is anything outside their silo.
Most people don't believe that she actually went to another silo or that there is another silo.
Because the world is the silo.
Yeah.
Right.
So-
So she's got Walk, Courtney, and Shannon?
Yeah, I can't remember,
I
but
can't
yeah.
remember her name. And Lucas and Billings. 5
Shirley?
people. Shirley. That's
Shirley.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
she has 5 people that know for sure because they all talk to her
On the radio.
from somewhere else.
And talk to those people.
Yeah.
So they know that, and they're talking to those people now, so they know they exist.
Right.
And so meanwhile, they're digging through it. And she's trying to deal with another. It looks like, oh man, these people just, like Lucas is saying, hey, look, we need to do something about this. There's really getting some upheaval. Maybe you need to go up top and kind of smooth things down because you've been down. She's been down the lower levels the entire time, it seems like.
Yeah.
She's been running like this big, heavy jackhammer thing to get to the room where the digger is.
Yeah.
So that's when he comes down there after she has gotten into the room where it is, and they're looking at it and trying to see what it does and how to run it and all that kind of stuff.
And it's well preserved. It's got oil over it.
Yes, because whenever she got into the room, there was like a kind of a hiss where the room was basically vacuum
pressurized,
sealed, or pressurized, or one or the other.
Yeah. So it had been preserved for a purpose. It was pristine condition, and even had some kind of coating on it that would keep the gears and everything smooth and everything for years.
The only thing that they didn't have is a power source, and then they realized that that's what the backup generator was for.
Yes.
Yeah.
They realized that. Now, meanwhile, I'm gonna skip, and if I don't want to get ahead, but in Silo 1,
there's a lot of jump back.
We find there's back and forth between Silo 1, Silo 2. Donald not doing so well, doing really bad. He knows he's dying, coughing up blood. He's trying to get his sister everything she needs, trying to get a drone fixed, because their plan is to escape and go to the green world that they saw in the second book.
They've sent out 2 other drones, but neither one of them made it as far as the first
I don't think we covered it last week, but they did reveal in the second book that Silo 1 was not planning to survive this. They were just there to make sure that one of the silos...
Remember, because we talked about that. Because remember, he thaws out Thurman and tells him, "You son, you said, he knows the whole story now."
Yeah.
So we know that's what it is. But what we find out in book 3, Thurman's still alive.
Yeah.
He didn't die. He thought, he shot him and then froze him, but he was still alive.
Right.
He didn't have time to die.
If he hadn't died and then you freeze him, then you're suspending the death.
So he suspended his death.
And while he's frozen, his nanites
are
fixing him again. Yes. So this is a great story because you didn't see that coming. And they find it because they see blood on. Someone found blood on the carcass. But then his name, Thurman's name, is Donald.
Donald, yeah.
So they're Troy. So they're mixing him up. They don't know who this guy is, but they decide to thaw him out because someone obviously opened this pod and tried to murder this man.
Yeah.
And when you see that, and when you hear the name on the thing, you're going, what?
Yeah.
He's alive. So now you're stuck. And you're like, oh,
and it was a really cool scene with like the head of security and this other guy who's like, okay, I know what happened here, and he's like, okay, And then this other guy comes down, and he's got all this information. He's like, okay, now here's what happened here. And the other guy's like, no, just listen to me, guys.
Yeah, and this is, but Funny's like, what is going on here?
Very realistic.
It's not a murder. What do you mean?
It was very realistic, and they played it in the bumbling and just the speculation. And them just, of course, here's the grand leader of the Silo 1 waking up, and nobody knows who he is.
Right.
They don't believe his story. They don't believe what he has to say. They're just going to lock him up.
Because they still think Thurman is Donald.
Yeah. They believed him a lot quicker than I thought that they would. Because they already had somebody that they thought was Thurman.
Well, we miss a little bit of that recovery, but I bet Thurman gave all the correct information.
Yeah, but how would they know?
Well,
nobody knew what Thurman was supposed to look like because Donald's been going...
Right.
No, but if somebody woke up, Donald recognized that knew Thurman and him, and he was avoiding him for a little bit.
That's true.
He was in a... And you're right, we don't get the full thing, but then, of course... That kind of story sits on the back burner as we go back to Jules. As we know, weeks have passed because, or not weeks, but maybe at least 1 week, because now it goes back to Donald. He still doesn't know because the detective wants to keep it away from, because someone with big head clearance got into those places and shot this guy. So the detective everyone's a suspect. Right? So before he goes to the man, which he wants to do, he's like, no, he's got other big things to deal with right now. Because Donald keeps telling everyone he's very busy. Don't bother him for anything.
Yeah.
And so the detective's like, well, let me look into this first, then I'll take it to him. So Donald kind of screwed himself by doing that. Right. The reason Donald's trying to be super secret from everyone else, like don't follow me, is because he's going to see his sister.
Right.
He keeps going to his sister. They're building.
He goes back and forth from seeing his sister to going to talk to Juliet or Lucas.
Yeah, Juliet and everyone. Lucas. Yeah. So
he's mostly talking to Lucas. Really wants to talk to Juliet,
but
she's never there.
Not trusting him.
She doesn't trust him at all.
Not at all.
So the thing is, though, but he's telling everyone just to stay away. Lock your doors to stay away from me. So everyone's thinking, oh, he's so busy. So the detective's like, well, I want to go to him, but since he's so busy, let me try to get more, because he's going to want to know more information. And right now, I know jack squat.
Right.
So he's going to do his investigation. He doesn't think Thurman/Donald
they started calling him Shepard.
Shepard, yeah. And
I didn't understand where that came from.
That was Thurman's, one of Thurman's nicknames was Shepard.
Really?
Thurman didn't seem to recognize that.
Yeah, he said I've been called many things, but not Shepard.
They didn't explain where that came
from. Donald mentions that
maybe that's something that he throws
Schiff
out.
that some people call him a shepherd, and he laughed at that. So
that's what they all end up calling him.
But yeah, and that's just for naming purposes when the real Thurman wakes up, so the reader can determine what's what. I got Thaw Man. Yeah. So anyway, Donald's trying to get his sister a radio, trying to give her as much food as she can to pack away, store away. And his sister kind of comes to the conclusion, he's not planning on leaving. He's dying. He's just making sure his sister is taken care of in his eventual death. And so his sister kind of is like, yeah, that's kind of sad for her.
Yeah.
Knowing that her brother's doing all this stuff, and time is of the essence, not to escape, but for him, time is of the essence. And Donald just wants to make sure she's taken care of when he passes away. Now I got to move back to, I think we've done enough for Silo 1 right now.
Yeah.
Let's move back to Silo 18. I mean, seriously, this thing is back and forth.
It really is.
It's probably not going to be in chronological order as I'm saying this. But now we're in Silo 18. They're tunneling through. Of course, lots of complaints. The generic story of the pastor and his flock going crazy, drinking the Kool-Aid.
And Silo 1 is reading the vibrations, and Donald's warning him. It's like, whatever y'all are doing, stop it.
And he thinks that Jules is coming for him.
Yeah. Right.
Because Jules says, I'm coming for you, and I'm coming to clean.
She was just distracting him, really.
Yeah, she was distracting him. It was all because he doesn't even know about Silo 17, what's been going on there.
Because Jules doesn't realize that he's with her and on her side. So
he
thinks he's
Jules still thinks he's the evil. So they
don't know what his voice sounds like. It's always modulated.
Yeah,
so,
everybody's voice sounds the same.
Whoever talks
sounds
to them
the same.
And they go off. They're supposed to go off a script every time.
So anyway, they break through. They get to Solo and the kids. They rush them to Julie's dad comes and takes them, and Juliet's dad comes and treats them well. Watches the twins. The twins do it for a what's it called, a dime or something?
Yeah.
Or something. They say, "Can I have a dime?" Because they don't know what that is, but they know that they want one.
Yeah.
The girl gets something.
Yeah. The checkup and all that.
He's just checking up on everyone. And of course, Juliet's so busy she can't meet with them yet.
Well, at the same time, she has built an extra airlock in the airlock.
Yeah.
And she's going outside again to run tests.
Yes, we should mention that. It's grab samples, and that's what she's doing at this time, which is very important.
Very important.
And then everyone is mad at her for going outside. How dare she? That's a dangerous world. And all we need to know is that it's a dangerous world out there. You don't need to investigate it.
Yeah.
But the big
And she's
surprise,
like, guys, there's a 99.7% survival rate. You don't need to be that scared of it.
there's not, but
Yeah.
Oh, no, not in this one. No, I'm sorry. Sorry.
The thing is,
Which is
the
why,
big shock
but everyone's
and surprise,
super scared.
And really, the first time going through the series, you're wondering.
Hold on. So she starts taking samples. They bring it back to examine it, and it looks like at first that the poison it gets less the further out you go. And she's like, wait a minute,
she got
did I mix up the samples? And then I love how the chapter ends. We don't hear what she knows.
No.
In fact, you don't even know what's going on because I totally forgotten. And then she just say, wait, that would mean, and she paused, and then it says Juliet was pissed.
Yeah.
And walks out, and you're like, what? Wait, I don't, huh? What? And I was thinking, oh, he didn't lock the cell door.
It's a Raj reference.
That's an old joke. We watched, what's it called? Primal Fear.
Oh,
and at the end of Primal Fear, when he goes, "Oh, please tell Miss So-and-so I'm sorry about her neck," he goes, "Okay." Well, then he walks out of the jail. What's his name? The actor?
Richard Gere.
Richard Gere. And then Richard Gere stops and goes,
yeah.
and he realizes that the kid, when he's schizophrenic, he shouldn't remember what his other self did unless he was faking. And so when
Sorry, we just ruined the movie for you guys.
well, we've already said spoilers. So now
yeah, but we didn't tell we were going to spoil Primal Fear, which is a great movie, by the way.
For the joke.
But the thing is, we're watching the movie with Roger.
Richard Gere looks up, and the music gets deep, and then he kind of looks up, and then Bruce and I went, "No, what?" We were freaked out over this, and Roger goes, "What? He left the cell door open."
I completely missed the...
We looked at her like, "What?" But the thing is, though, I couldn't remember. I was like, what was the secret? What's the big deal? Because you don't know.
Right.
But you know that Juliet, because she goes, "But why would it?" And she paused, and she's mad. She's furious. Now,
and it's all Donald's fault.
Yeah.
Because he knows.
Because she's going on to, chew out Donald. And Donald doesn't know what she's talking about either when Donald gets her.
No, he doesn't know this yet either.
And so, anyway, she's going to... meanwhile, she finds out that instead of fixing up that silo, they're pulling free parts from it and everything. Like she said they wouldn't do, but it looks like they are.
Yeah, now, Solo's not very happy about it.
Yeah, Solo and the kids are little fish out of water. All the people around them, it's nice, but at the same time, this is uncomfortable in their world. And
you get a lot of POVs from Elise.
Yeah, the little girl. Yeah,
the little girl.
She's a big part in it because she finds a puppy dog she decides to steal and keep. She likes the puppy, whatever the puppy is. People eat puppies.
Not realizing it.
She finds the little boy who's the butcher's son who offers her pork. She didn't know what it is, but it is delicious.
It's way better than rat.
Way better than rat. Yeah. And so he's like, "Wow, my dad says you don't exist. You got to meet my dad and everything." All right, so anyway, I need to stop there because I know we're getting too far ahead. We need to go to Silo 1. All right, in Silo 1, now Thurman has convinced them, no, this guy's the imposter. Donald's talking to his sister. They hear someone in the elevator. It's like, "Oh, hide." And then here comes Thurman. Here come the security, and they beat the ever-loving snot out of Donald.
Yeah. Well, the two security guards hold him, and Thurman is the one.
Thurman's the one cracking ribs and everything.
Yeah. Well,
go ahead.
Before that happens...
Yeah, I knew I'd forget something.
Thurman finds out that Donald killed Anna.
Yeah.
from the last book. That's why.
And you do also realize that was a bad move on Donald's part.
Oh, very, very bad.
Well,
move.
Later on,
Anna figured all this stuff out.
I know. Later on, Donald figures that out, and he regrets not giving her a chance to talk. However, as they go to the cell, the jail cell, Thurman visits him, tells him that he's dying, tells him what's going on, and then asks him why he did the things he did. Who did this? How'd you pull this off? He goes, it was Anna. And then twist the logic to why he killed Anna. He said, because I had to kill her because she wanted to bring everything down. And damn you for turning me into you.
Yeah.
And
he said, I did your job for you.
I did your job for you. And Thurman, he thought Thurman was going to get mad, but Thurman thinks, gets up, and silently walks away, and then starts giving him food and letting him recover a little bit. But the thing is, though, Thurman...
And being nice to him.
Because Thurman realizes, you killed Anna for the right reason. Yeah, I would have killed Anna. You're right. She was out of control. You did the right thing.
I don't think he would have. But
so I
would have put her in the fridge.
I think Thurman's maybe.
Well, he had already done that.
No, but it's obviously Thurman's hate dissolved from there because then he realizes, he was. Now, was Donald trying to do that? No. And by the way,
Donald killed her purely for revenge.
Yeah,
and not
spite.
Yeah.
So the thing is, he wants to protect his sister. He wants all the attention on him. He's trying to get it off his sister. But then, of course, the detective finds out. There's also a female out there, and he's like, "Wait, what?" It's weird because they find the.
How does he figure that out?
Yeah, hold on. We got to back up a good bit.
Yeah, I told you I'm terrible at this. Okay, so his sister's doesn't have a mic to complete the radio in, so she can't speak to anyone without the mic.
Her brother's in prison. She's kind of a fish out of water.
So she goes on a mission to dress up, smear oil grease on her face, to go as a young technician to go steal a mic.
Yeah.
But she has to come across people, and now she's fooling people one after the other, getting in there. She asks to see a mic, and the guy goes, "Oh yeah, it's sticky, but you're going to fix. Yeah, we'll fix it." So of course she takes it, unscrews it. It's going to take me a day. He went, "Wow, that's great. That's fast."
Yeah.
She's like, "Okay, whatever," because she's never going to come back. And she gets into the elevator with but a shift manager, one of the top shift managers comes in. The head comes in, "Hey, get that door for me." He's like, "Oh, you're new here? I'm trying to chit chat with you." Yeah, whatever. And she's like, doesn't want to talk to him because she's got her low voice like that, And then he kind of looks at her because they're in close vicinity. He says, "What the hell?" Because he realizes it's a girl,
right?
And so she has to defend herself, and he's grabbing her, and she kills him.
Yeah.
Eventually, I mean, she
uses a screwdriver.
Yeah.
She referenced the screwdriver several times.
And she uses that to undo the mic.
To get the mic and everything like that. And that's the only thing that she has. And she just kind of swings out to scratch him to get him away.
Open like that ballpoint pen from Grosse Point Blank. Bam!
Yeah.
Into the neck.
Slices his neck open.
Yeah.
And
blood everywhere.
Yeah. And they end up stopping on some floor.
Yeah.
I guess where he was going. And she drags him out of the elevator, and it gets back in, and right as the doors are about to close, he shoots her in the arm.
Yeah.
Or shoulder or something like that.
Yeah. So
she's wounded, he's dying.
He's dead.
And then she finds out that the mic is broken.
Yeah. So she gets the mic though. She does get it to work.
Yeah, she said it was broken, but then she does.
But she does get it to work. I don't remember it saying it was broken, but I remember the button still sticking on it, which I thought was kind of cool.
Something was.
But that was already what was wrong with the beginning.
Okay.
But the thing is though, I think she's checking to see if the mic was still with her, by her side, or in her pouch or whatever. But
she had a mic and another little control board or something.
Oh, maybe the control board was broken.
Okay. I think that was going to allow her to try to talk to other silos.
Maybe.
Or something like that. I can't remember.
Something.
I don't know why that would have been brought to attention, but it didn't really matter, I guess.
Yeah. But anyway, so she leaves, gets back, and gets back to her hidey hole and kind of covers tracks. However, when they're scrubbing the blood, they find out one of them is not the victims. It is the attackers, and it is female. And he's like very confused now. The detective's like, I don't know what's going on, what the heck? Because, I mean, he can't put things together because he didn't know the whole picture. But he does know this is something above. This is something big. Yeah. He doesn't know what.
It's above
but
his pay grade, but he
has a
more
feeling
information before he takes it up.
Yeah,
top.
he has a feeling this is something big because he's good on hunches. That's why he's the detective.
He starts remembering a little bit too. He starts having dreams and imagines himself in a full suit and sunglasses and running behind somebody.
Yeah.
He does. And then it stops, and you're like, huh.
He's getting his memories back.
And so, yeah, go ahead.
No, so we're getting too far ahead. Silo 1 now. Silo, we got to go back to Silo 18. Right. So they're back. Everyone's back. Thurman now has a full report. He knows what Donald's been doing. He's been talking to them. He gets on the line. Lucas answers thinking, this is odd. This is not the regular time the guy calls. And it's Thurman. He's like, I want to speak to
the person in charge.
What's his name?
Bernard.
He said, oh, Bernard. He said, you have 5 or 10 minutes or whatever. You have 10 minutes, son.
Yeah.
Because he knows Bernard's not there. He knows that Silo's gone rogue now. He just needs to verify. He doesn't know what Donald's been telling him.
Right.
Because he tries to tell Donald, and Donald's like, Donald's being quiet. But he knows something's up, so he wants to speak to Bernard. Lucas calls Juliet, says, hey, something bad's going on. This is not the guy we usually talk to. Something bad. She's like, okay, we'll just deal with it. So he grabs another technician to be Bernard, but the guy can't act like Bernard.
Through it instantly.
Thurman sees right through it, and then Lucas gets on the phone and says, hey, look, I'm sorry. I just can't get him in time. He's up top. It'll be a while before he comes down. He's like, you're lying. I can see you're lying. And then he said, goodbye, son. And then right before he switches off, he goes, what's he say? Cut it down?
Shut it down.
Shut it down is what he says. Shut it down. And that's all he hears. He's like, what? Well, then white smoke starts going to the room. He's like, oh, no. It gets to the guy he was with, and that guy kills over and dies. So he knows what it is, wraps his face, goes into a little cubby hole to kind of hide for right now or trying to get away.
He's trying to get into basically the same area of that
Solo got
where
to.
Solo was.
And where Solo was safe from the white smoke. Yeah. Well, anyway, he radios Juliet and says something bad's going on. Well, this is a great scene because mist starts floating through the silo now, and everyone's going crazy, running toward the top.
Right.
And
just like
Juliet,
just like Silo 17.
Just like Silo 17. Yeah. So we see a repeat of what's going on. Everyone thinks I got to get up top because the air's going to appear. So anyway,
but before that happens, Juliet gets word from her dad that one of the the kids from
one of the twins,
Silo 17.
There was an accident.
There was an accident
during the rush. And
this was a previous rush.
He got pushed over, fell a couple of stories. She doesn't know if he's okay or not. Later on, we find out he's dead.
There's a mob going down to the tunnel to go to the other place, claiming that they were like some kind of planning committee.
Yeah.
And it ended up being the priest and all of his followers.
So,
and they're the ones that killed the kid.
Kills the boy. The boy, and it was an accident. They're trampling, and he got pushed over the rail.
Yeah.
And fell, and so he's dead. And it's really shocking. They killed a kid, man. But the thing is, though, now they're trying to get Solo and get the girl and get all the family down there as quick as they can.
This is the time where Elise loses the puppy, gets lost in the bazaar where they're selling the pig.
That's where she finds the boy,
And the puppy gets stolen, and she steals it back.
Yeah. Well, she has to buy it back with the book.
Right.
But anyway, so they're all traveling down. Juliet, here's what's going on. She's talking to the sheriff. And the sheriff
Billings,
is up. Yeah, Billings is up at the top. And he's going, everyone's rushing. I don't know what to do. And she's like, you need to protect yourself. And then he goes, oh my God. Oh my. Jules, he said, I'm looking outside. Yeah. Like somehow the hatch has been blown open. Right. Just like Silo 17. Yeah. So they're rushing people to their death.
Except that she has her second airlock there that is not open. So people aren't able to get outside. Right. But that doesn't really matter because the place is filling up with...
Yeah, the place is filling up with smoke. So Billings is going to die, and she knows it. Eventually she loses contact with him.
Yeah.
Lucas cannot get a radio signal where he's in the hidey hole, and he wants to make sure he warns Juliet.
Right.
So he gets back out. Of course, now he's getting poisoned. He knows he doesn't have long to live. Saying goodbye to Juliet. Lucas is gone now.
Yeah.
This is getting crazy.
Didn't expect that.
Yeah. I didn't expect it either. I kind of thought that he would be safe in the little hidey hole, but because he couldn't get the
signal, and he wanted to make sure Juliet was okay and everyone was getting to safety.
Yeah.
And then I love this image. All of a sudden, the mist starts just shooting down the silo. Mm-hmm. You know, like there's this great big cloud coming down on them. And so Juliet sees it and goes, run. And everyone does a blind run sideways, and it's freaking everyone out because they've never run sideways that long, which is really cool. It's a really cool thing to think about. All they know is up and down. They don't know side to side. They've never run side. So they're all wondering, what do we keep going? So they're bumping into each other because some people are stopping like,
oh, you're talking about going through the tunnel.
Yeah, going through the tunnel.
Yeah, they're just going straight.
Because they've never run straight before, which is really, when you think about it, all they know is up and down. Side to side is very little. You don't do it that much. But when you're constantly running to the side, that's kind of weird. and so they're bumbling around inside, and they're like, push, go. Don't stand there. Keep running. Because they don't understand how it works. Well, then that's when Shirley sacrifices herself because she knows that mist is going to come right down through that tunnel and infect Silo 17.
And she's also like, Jules, this is your fault. I am not going to be the leader of this. This is your responsibility.
Jules wanted to go back and blow, and Shirley's like, no. Hell no.
You're not going to lead me to this.
My husband's gone, and you've created this mess.
Exactly, yeah.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, you got to live with this.
I thought, and to do that, she clocks Julie in the side of the head and knocks her out.
Knocks her out. And then goes and blows the tunnel, dies herself because she's trapped in Silo 18.
Yeah.
Well, then when Jules wakes up, she's pissed now. She's pissed because she thinks he killed, she thinks that Donald killed them all or tried to kill them all. She said, he did it. Son of a bitch finally did it, Well, anyway, they're trying to dig their way out, trying to get back to the silo. And she's like, if you do that, we will all die. And she convinces Courtney, who's like, everyone stop and put out those torches. We're putting out air. Because she realizes,
we're burning up all of our oxygen.
This is it for us. We've got to survive here somehow. And so while they're trying to start over again in Silo 17 now,
which is completely dilapidated, doesn't have any working.
There's no long-term future in this place.
Yeah.
The farms are being raided.
The farms are being raided, destroyed. People are going crazy. People don't know what's going on. And, food's already getting scarce already. There's a cult on one of the levels.
Earlier in the book, there's like an acolyte to the priest or whatever. And whenever they get over, you find this out a little bit later, but when they get over to the other silo, for some reason, the acolyte is now in charge. And they've created this cult, and we'll get there. But
no, we can get there now. I think.
Okay. Well,
I see. This is the thing. I just don't know when we go back to Silo 1 yet. But
because there is the big
let's go to Silo 1.
The thing is, the thing is, already in the book, we've had the information that some of Julie's scars have gone away.
Yeah, Lucas.
And so there is another mystery going on.
Yeah, Lucas noticed that one of the scars.
I forgot about that.
One of his quote-unquote favorite scars on the crook of her elbow is missing.
And before she goes out through the airlock again, she says, Dad, have you ever heard of scars just disappearing?
Yeah, he's like, no, that doesn't happen.
By the way, I don't recall how that was explained now.
Yeah, let's explain.
I mean, I just don't remember now. I've lost it. But anyway, we'll get to it in a minute.
Because
we'll get to it later on.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get to it later on.
That's a little bit later.
I just forgot how that concludes.
Yeah.
I know they concluded. I just can't think of it. But will surprise me again. Like I said, it's been a while. Okay, so let's go back to Silo 1 here for a minute.
Okay.
Because Juliet actually gets to talk to Donald's sister. I can't think of her name right now.
Bad blank.
I can't think of her name. Anyway,
sister.
Yeah, Donald's sister.
I'll think of it in a minute.
But anyway, she talks to Charlotte. She talks to Charlotte. She doesn't realize it's Charlotte at first, and then Charlotte, no, this is his brother. We tried to help you. That wasn't him. And she says, hey, the bad man's back. He's just trying to explain it to her like he's the one who gassed you. We didn't. We're trying to root for you. Yeah. I wish I could convince you that I am your friend. And then Juliet's like, she kind of sounds sincere. Oh, by the way, this is a radio. It's not the regular mic she's listening to. At first, when Charlotte calls, she gets them, but she gets some other worker who thinks she's one of the people in Silo 17.
She gets Hank that's trying to sleep.
Yeah, Hank that's trying to sleep and says, is that you down? Yeah, it's me. So she's trying to contact them and talk to Juliet. Well, now that Juliet's hearing a real voice, she's saying, oh, you know what? I I want to trust you. Mm-hmm. I just don't know if I can. I want to.
Yeah.
And Juliet's wishing because she's like, no, I'm in the same boat. I'm dead. You need to understand.
This is as she's waking up after Shirley cleaned her clock.
Yeah.
So
after
she's a little loopy.
Juliet,
anyway.
yeah. But Charlotte's scared because she said, "Look, I'm a dead person walking because they're hunting for me." She knows they're hunting because they've already gone through once to look for her, and she hid.
Yeah, she's hiding.
And they didn't find her.
Hiding in a pod inside one of the
drones.
The drones.
Yeah. But they can't find her. But she knows her days are limited because they're going to keep searching because they know someone's
They know somebody
awake.
because they thought it was Donald that killed the head guy.
Yes.
And they came in and they're like checking.
Thurman's like, "How did you do it?"
Checking the ceiling tiles and stuff like that. And like, no, there's no way he got out of here.
Yeah.
And
but it was funny because he's one of the guys, the security guard checks the vent, and Don's like, "I already checked that." Don's like, "I already thought about that to get out."
Yeah.
And then Thurman's like, "How'd you do it? How'd you do it?" You know, like because Donald to him
has no idea.
It's funny, but Thurman has this impression that Donald knows all these tricks. He thinks Donald's smarter than he really actually is.
Yeah. Because of
the
weird
switch,
things.
And then of course the being immune to the
and
drugs.
Donald did a lot of lucky moves
that
Donald couldn't explain for himself.
Yeah.
And so Thurman just assumes it was all
he's a master. Thurman assumes he's a mastermind. Also, it helps that his partner thought that Donald was a genius too. The partner who shot himself thought Donald was smart. So Thurman's almost intimidated by Donald. Yeah. It's almost like this guy's a rival
Thurman
too.
just about lost the silo.
Yeah.
Because he had taken his place. He thought that he had done.
And it's funny because we should mention Jules has an idea in Silo 17. Give her as much dynamite as they can make, and she's going to take a suit and march it right over to Silo 1 and blow that mother effer. I was like, yes. And
she's like, how much dynamite did it take to get through such and such door? The steel door that they had made in Mechanical back during the riot and everything, when IT and Mechanical back in Wool.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, it took this many sticks to get through that. And she's like, okay, give me more.
Yeah. And the thing is, I'd totally forgotten Dust. I thought she was going to do it too.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, does that happen? Yeah. I can't remember. I was like, but it's a great idea.
The thing is, there's a reason why you think it would happen if you.
Yeah. Well, Juliet's pissed.
Yeah.
She is pissed. And you're like, she's going to blow up Silo 1. I'm ready for this.
Yeah.
You know, they won't see it because I could see Thurman. You know, I don't know if you remember The Last Starfighter.
Oh yeah.
You know, when they're setting up all the dynamite in front of the door, they're going, "Sir, what do we do?" And I could see Thurman go, "We die." That's the best line in Last Starfighter.
She and another guy are on their way up.
Yeah.
To get the suits.
Hold on. Let me go back to Silo 1 real quick.
Oh, okay.
So Charlotte, as she's talking to Juliet, here's someone has to go.
Right.
The detective has found her.
Yep.
Okay. And so that's kind of where we end. We go back to Juliet. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Okay, so she and the albino guy, which I'd completely forgotten about. I don't remember his name.
Yeah. But he starts telling her, hey, you know the weird thing, he knew this girl in supplies or whatever, and she did a count. He said, did you know that we have exactly 500 years of supply and that we're going to be out of every... It's so weird that they knew how long a light bulb would last. And we have exactly enough. Every microchip. We don't even have we can't even make these microchips. But they knew how many...
take about 10 or 15 years.
Yeah. He said, everything is going to end in 500 years. He said, but she did it, and all the supplies, things that they could never, like the microchip, we can't even make that.
He said, they were down to, I think, like 400 and something. Like, by the time that they were around.
But she kept doing the calculations and everything kept popping up around the same time. And so, she starts thinking about what is going on. And then she starts thinking about the drill that they found. It was positioned in a certain way, and it took them forever to point it towards Silo 7.
Hold on, no. We're getting a little bit ahead.
Okay.
A little bit ahead.
All right, well, go ahead.
Okay, so we're going up the silo.
Yeah.
He's telling
Silo
her this
17.
story.
He's telling that story, yeah.
Yeah, she's going up the silo. They're planning on going to the suit room.
Yes.
And that's when he asks her how many suits are left. And she gives him a roundabout, and he's like, okay. And that's when he starts telling that story.
Yeah.
Then we switch over to... Solo.
Okay.
Who is looking for Elise, who has run off again because she lost
I forgot about
Lisa's
story. Yes, I forgot about Lisa's story. Yes.
And she runs into one of the cult. And they start asking her questions.
Yeah.
And basically trick her into telling her where the books are.
Yeah.
And then also tricking her into marrying some dude.
Yeah.
And she didn't even know what's happening.
Yeah, she didn't even know what's going on.
Yeah, she's like, what, 7, 8?
Yeah, she doesn't know what's going on.
But I would say this felt like just an aside that didn't need to be in the book.
I agree. The side story didn't need to be there.
On, you gotta, you really
the
had
crazy,
to put in
like,
crazy,
and here's the thing.
Crazy religious cult.
It doesn't. There's nothing.
Crazy religious cult is such an overdone, and it was overdone. It was a worn out
first
cliche.
2 books, and it doesn't play out to the ending of this book.
Yeah. It only gets added for 3 because it's a played out cliche, and it was a played out cliche since these books came out. It's always been around, and you're right. There's no build up to this. He just added them for extra tension.
There's no round.
There's no reason.
There's one thing.
Remember that crazy cult doesn't like this. That doesn't like the tunnel. They don't want the tunnel. Why would they run through the tunnel and find the other side? They wouldn't trust it. Remember, they do not trust it. They want to destroy the tunnel, but they would never run through it.
So Juliet and Albino got run into the priest, who is like, I was wrong.
I was wrong.
There is, and that's when the other guy took over.
Yeah.
And so this crazy cult now is basically trying to find women for the men.
Yeah.
And then they're in this ceremony where they're cutting out the implant, the birth control implant.
Yeah.
Okay. So despite this storyline being really dumb, it has one of the greatest lines in it. Because
when Solo comes?
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Oh yeah.
Solo. Well, hold on. Before then, though, I just found it like they would never go to Silo 17. Never. The cult when after rejecting it, and then they go. Why? Because he needs an extra story. He needs some other tension in Silo 17. That's why they're there. But you're right. If you're not building them up within the first book, no. No, they're just introducing the third book, obviously, to have something for Silo 17 to do. Yeah. But anyway, great scene with Solo. Oh, yeah. This is my boomstick. So
you kind of forget that Solo, for the 4 years...
I'm glad you remembered this.
That he was stuck in that area, waiting for them to figure out what the code was to get to him. He had a rifle and a shit ton of ammo. And he practiced every day. Breaking the gun down, learning how to shoot, and everything. He was a expert marksman, basically.
Right.
And you kind of forget that, and then all of a sudden he's like, okay, we're going to get him. So he runs into somebody who's...
All he did as a kid was clean his gun, take it apart, reassemble it, take it apart. So he knows.
Yeah, and he's had to kill people. He knows what he's doing. And so he goes and he finds a gun that he has stashed away years ago. In fact, he forgot which floor it was on at first. He's like, oh, wait, no, it was on this floor. So that he goes and gets it. They're cutting the
But he's like Dave Taylor. He had like guns hid everywhere, caches everywhere for emergencies like this. Back in the old days when he didn't know if he was alone yet,
because he's not crazy. He needed that,
right? Well,
too close to home.
No, he's not. So he busts in, and he's like, the girl's coming with me. And they're like, no, that's my wife. And I don't want to screw this up. Do y'all remember the line?
I don't remember the line. I know the scene because I like to see. You see this?
So he shoots the glass out.
Yeah.
And says, y'all do marriages pretty quick.
Oh yeah.
How fast can you do a funeral?
That's exactly what it was. And then he lets go of the girl.
Yeah. And they just walk right on out.
Walk right on out. He takes Solo's a badass, and he takes her down, and he takes her to the rest of the crew.
Yeah. I think Solo has been a man child, and this has kind of pushed him into manhood.
Yeah. And so I believe it ends when I want to stop. I know I got to stop here, but Juliet has an idea. She needs to talk to everyone. They have tons of that canned food in IT level.
Well, they go down. They go into the IT on 34, and she's going down. I think she's wanting to to contact. So no, she's not wanting to contact. For some reason, she goes down into the little bunker area.
Yeah.
And there's smoke coming out, and she gets down there, and this crazy guy is burning all the books.
Yeah.
And he attacks her. Albino guy comes down and helps and everything. He ends up getting caught on fire, and she realizes she's too late. She can't save the books or anything like that. So they go up and they drop one of the servers on top of...
Right, and just let the whole thing burn.
Yeah, and just let
him burn in there.
And then, so when she's talking to Charlotte, she mentions something about red lines or something, all pointing to one section.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Like
Charlotte tells her, like, oh my God. Like, she figures out, she went, I've been looking at this grid forever. All these lines lead to a silo, a real above ground silo.
Yeah.
And then she remembers what Solo says about, what do you think a silo is? That's not what a silo is. Right. And so it all kind of comes together.
Yeah. But then Charlotte gets cut off because
the detective finds her.
And then so after they dump one of the servers over on top of the cubby hole thing, she realizes that there's a red line running to it. And she goes and starts looking at the other ones, and they all have a red line, and they're all leading to one spot.
Yeah, all the diggers are pointed in the exact direction that all the silos need to go to basically escape their existence.
Whichever one gets chosen
will be given the direction.
All you have to do is get in,
and one of the things that you find out
is
that it's not even Silo 1 or anyone in Silo 1 that determines who is chosen. It is. It's a computer that chooses the lottery, chooses who gets to
and gasses everyone else.
The thing is, it's trying to find people that learn to coexist and have forgotten the past.
Yeah, right.
Because it's about forgetting nuclear weapons, forgetting all the destruction that mankind has brought upon itself in the past. Because that's the idealized version of what these people think mankind needs to do to survive.
Right.
And
people that have forgotten the past.
Yes. Why are you smiling?
Yeah, never mind. Anyway, so that's true. Trying to find the perfect society.
Yep.
Where people love each other instead of hurt each other and kill each other.
Yeah. Which silo can learn the way they think that is humanity should go.
Yeah. And so they that's when she discovers about the diggers and how they were positioned, and that must be the direction to where the silo is.
Mm-hmm. And about this time, Solo comes in.
We should also mention that Charlotte did tell her there is green outside there.
That's true.
Charlotte did tell her that. So now everything's pulling together. I should say this. She does reveal this to Charlotte, that the soil. We forgot about the soil story. She tells her how the soil revelation is done, that every time they go out, they're supposed to have this pressurized gas that's supposed to kind of clean things.
Clear the airlock.
Clear the airlock.
Yeah.
That is the poison.
Yep.
And they continue to pour. Every time they go out to send a cleaning, any silo, they're poisoning the air. The silos are the one that continuously poison that area.
Mm-hmm. Which is why there's a green area growing outside of where the silos are.
Yeah.
And it's been like
created
that
a dome over
this whole area. The world has
healed
itself.
The world healed itself ages ago.
Yeah.
But the cleanings are what's keeping the world devastated.
Yeah, or that area of the world
where the people are living.
Their world.
Yeah. And by the way, they're all in valleys too. So they can't see the other side of anything. So they're kind of segregated. They can't see anything, but all they see is desolation.
Learn, the more you realize that they picked the perfect place, the perfect amount. I mean,
and that's when you realize,
absolutely perfectly planned.
Perfectly planned.
Except for one thing, human nature.
Human nature, yeah. But even it ruins the sky. I mean, the skies above it are everything.
Unintended consequences are the problem with everybody that thinks they can plan for all events of the future.
Yeah, and that's why the further you go out, the less harmful it is.
Mm-hmm.
So. She
calls a town hall.
She calls a town hall. The only way to get them there, I love everything. This. She throws flyers down down the stairwell, down the silo, and saying, "We have food, hot food, good food. Come and get it." Everyone needs food right now because everyone knows it's about to get ugly.
Yeah, and it
hasn't
hot.
gotten ugly yet, but they know that food is scarce now, and everyone's selling like. it's about to get bad for us. They know it's not there yet, but everyone knows because they're getting hungry.
Yeah, there's enough practical people. In fact, most of the people are like the blue collar people, so they're very practical.
Yeah, well, but everyone knows bad things are about to happen.
There's a certain amount of people
like this for too long.
There's a certain amount of people that are ruining the ability to continually make food. For the short term gain.
Oh yeah, they've torn up the gardens.
First off, Silo 17 was not the best long term position to be in.
No.
Oh, no. And then they're starting to ruin that from the get go.
Originally, the plan was to slowly rebuild Silo 17 over the next few years. Not to live in it,
right?
But because it was a big,
barely maintained, barely maintained.
Joanna Gaines would not
vastly have been minimal population of just a handful of people, and it barely handled them.
So anyway, she's calling everyone up to get food and talk to them about her idea. Now I feel we need to go to Silo 1.
We need to go back to Silo 1, yeah.
Okay, because Charlotte talks to the detective and basically lets him find out the truth herself. Let me fly a drone and show you.
Yeah. Well, so before that, he sees like all the papers.
He sees
stuff
everything.
Like that.
She gives him the document. Says, "Look over these." He doesn't know exactly. He knows there's something. She's like, "Let me show you one thing." He figures
because he's starting to remember too.
Yeah.
And she's also kind of wondering
not right.
how creepy this guy is.
Yeah.
Well, like, she's scared
really
of everything.
Worried about him.
Yeah. But at some point he starts like unbuttoning his jumpsuit and everything, and she's like, "Crap, he is going to try to force himself on me. I have nothing."
Yeah.
And then he like grabs some of the papers and stuffs it in. To read later.
To kind of hide them. He's hiding them. So when he takes
that's when she's like, "Okay, let me show you."
Yeah,
like,
now let me show you.
I think he's far. He's
now that I know I'm not going to end up like Matt from Wheel of Time. Let me show you. Let me show you.
He didn't have a knife to put into the bedpost.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, she shows him, and now he knows. Okay, that Donald and Charlotte have been kind of the good guys now. So what can he do to help?
Mm-hmm.
And
he's still not completely
convinced. He's not completely convinced, but she's got his attention now.
He knows
well,
there's stuff wrong.
The next thing that happens is we jump to Donald's POV. He's in in there.
Yeah, go ahead.
And,
sorry.
And all of a sudden, somebody busts in the door. It's Charlotte.
He's thinking, "Are you crazy? I'm going to die anyway. What are you doing here? You need to be safe." And then the detective, he's like... He thinks the jig is up, and no. The detective says, "Get up.
Yeah, we need to go.
We need to go because my shift ends, and as far as my supervisor will be
like
pissed if you're not here."
Something like that.
Because he wants to see more. He wants to understand more. He knows Donald has the answers.
Yeah.
So they do convince him.
Mm-hmm.
He agrees to hide them. And, of course, they go out looking. There's an all-man search. Thurman thinks that Donald has escaped. He's
figured out how to
He's a mastermind, so he's figured out how to get out. So they're scouring everywhere. Well, of course, he and his sister are hiding in some lockers. Is that right?
Yeah, something like that.
And of course, the detective knows where they're at. He's like, "Let me check this." He sees them. All clear. He gives the all clear, so they don't even search that spot.
Right.
So they're safe for now, and then later on he's going to come back and get them, and they're going to continue. Because now it looks like they're all going to escape.
Right.
Okay? They're all... Because now the detective's in with them. He's going to escape. Well, he doesn't really... is he escaping yet? No. He doesn't want to escape yet.
He still doesn't
But he wants to know more. Yes, that's right. So then eventually he gets them. They kind of tell him what's going to happen. Unfortunately... the jig is up for Donald.
Yeah. Well, Donald knows he's going to die.
He knows he's going to die.
His nanobites are fighting the bad nanobites,
and the bad nanobites,
and they're losing.
They're losing.
So he's going to die.
Thurman's already told him what's going on. So he knows he's dead, and but he wants his sister to take care of, and he thinks the detective is the best way to do that.
Yeah.
And so the two suits he's been making, which the detective thinks is a crazy idea.
Yeah. Yeah, he's actually... Well, see, they take one of the bunker busters off of one of the drones. Because that's what they have the drones for, just in case. To go
bomb a silo. Yeah.
So he takes one of the bunker busters off, and that's when they start building the suits and everything. Yeah. And they're going to... He tells his sister, "I have a way to detonate this remotely."
Yeah.
And when the detective comes down and everything. They hold him at gunpoint because he's like, I'm not up for this. What is going on? You're going to blow everything up.
Yeah, you can't do that.
And
then Donald reveals the truth to him. He said, we were meant to die.
Yeah.
And kind of just throws, and all the missing pieces that the detective didn't know start clicking into place.
Yeah.
And he understands that Donald's telling the truth, and that now everything kind of makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So he, at gunpoint, he makes him put on the other suit.
Yes.
He starts putting it on. His sister's like, hell no, you're going with me, this, that, and the other. And
then that's when Thurman and them break in, right?
Well, no. Oh. He goes in the elevator and says, you got 30 minutes to get out of here.
Oh, yeah, because I'm going to blow this up. That's right, that's right.
He goes into the elevator.
So they're running off, and then, it's a great scene.
Yeah.
But Thurman's coming toward him. They shoot him. I think they shoot Donald.
Thurman shoots Donald.
Yeah, and Donald falls.
And this is where it just keeps going back and forth from Donald's POV to
Charlotte's POV.
Okay,
so let's move to Charlotte real quick. Because Charlotte and the detective are on the run now.
Yeah, well, they're trying to get up. They've got the lift for the drone. They're trying to get in it.
Yeah.
It takes 20 minutes to get to the top. So they're trying to get in there
slow
as quick as possible
rise.
because Donald's only giving them 30 minutes.
Yeah, so they don't have much time.
You got 20 minutes to get to the top and then 10 minutes to get as far away as possible. And so he's got a trash bin or something like that holds the door open so that they can get in.
Right.
The Thurman, I guess, knew
something was up. He figured out very quickly something was up.
Yeah, and so they've sent more people down there. They're in a gunfight and everything. The trash can is stuck. They're trying to push it out, but it's wedged in such a way that it's not going to go out. It has to go in. The detective, who finally realizes that I was in the Secret Service. I was trained to take a bullet. He gets out.
Jumps out.
Starts pushing the trash can in.
Saves Charlotte. Takes a bullet. Knows that's it for him. And then goes... basically sacrifices himself.
Yeah.
So now Charlotte's kind of on her own now and escapes on her own.
Yeah.
Meanwhile... My favorite scene.
Yeah.
Thurman's coming at him like, "What did you do? What did you do? What did you do?"
Shoots him. He's just about to hit. He's just about to hit the bunker buster in such a way with a ball-peen hammer, which logic's going to have to go out the window for that to actually happen. But he's about to make it go off.
But I love how he can barely lift his hand.
Yeah.
But he lifts it just enough.
Just enough.
And then everything.
He shoots the bunker buster with his
shoots
pistol.
with the pistol, yes. Thurman thinks he's trying to lift it up to shoot him, but he's not. He just needs to lift it up enough to where he can shoot the Bronco Buster, and then bye-bye.
Bye-bye, yeah.
And that's a great scene.
Well, and it's a great scene. I don't know that we hit on this, but the way he designed the all the silos were an individual sections.
Right.
And the reason that there are no stairs in Silo 1 is because they would all see the concrete in between levels.
Yes.
And like that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
So they do not have any stairs in there.
Yeah. It's elevator lifts. They're the only ones.
So to get rid of all of the other silos, there's the gas.
Yep.
There's the
blowing the airlock open.
And blowing the airlock open. Then there's the charges that basically make it completely collapse.
And
if that doesn't work, that's when they use the drones with
drones
the
to finish off the job.
Yeah. Well, Silo 1 is rigged the same way.
Yeah. It's rigged to die.
And that's why they do not have any stairs, because they're like, these people are going to figure it out. And we cannot afford for them to figure it out. Because if they figure out that we're not supposed to make it either, then they're not going to
do what they're supposed to do.
Right.
It's genius because the stairs are invented to keep people separating communication low, separate, and the lifts keep them in the dark. It's really smart.
It is.
It's a well written idea.
Yeah.
Well thought out. He really thought this out. Mm-hmm. So anyway, boom, boom, boom. Let me go back. Mm-hmm. By the way, this is not in order. I know it's not. Let's go back to Silo 18.
I think we're doing.
Really?
We're doing pretty good.
Somewhere, I think we've skipped ahead, but it doesn't matter. Juliet now, because we finished, that's the end of Silo 1 story.
Charlotte makes it out, by the way.
Charlotte makes it out. That's the end of Silo 1 story.
She sees the collapse of all the dirt and everything as the silos collapsing behind
everything
her.
Julie promised she
And then there's Juliet
Charlotte
with a bag of dynamite going, son of a... anyway, she's outside the Silo 1 going, what? Curse curse you. No, was it damn you, Adams? Anyway, so it goes to the con. That's even better. It goes back to, well, in a way, somewhere how it goes back to Silo 17. Juliet tells him the plan. Look, we're going to suit up and we're going to walk in the direction where I think is freedom, green grass, everything.
Yeah, she tells him about all the diggers being pointed in the specific direction. She shows it on the map, and she's like, and they even go as far as determining how much fuel was in those diggers.
Yes,
which is a little bit counter because earlier they said that they needed
but they topped it off with.
Yeah, but they said earlier that they needed the backup generator to run that. But if it's got fuel in it, then it's got its own onboard. Anyway,
it doesn't matter. But anyway, they figure out, they calculate where this place is, and she says, "Are you coming with me?" Now,
they also noticed earlier that all the silos diggers were pointed at the exact same place.
Yeah, in a certain direction. That's where she gets her point of origin or whatever to chart her. She gets her starting point to chart her map. So she figures out where this place is, tells them, here's where it is. We got the suits for everyone. I'm not going to make anyone, but who's coming with me? Yeah. Now, you can try to survive in Silo 17. It's going to be hard life here. Or we can go for it and make it into a great life. Yeah. And there are some people who choose to stay behind because they are just too scared. They cannot believe the outside world is real.
I assume the cult is the world.
And it seems like a few others, but yes.
I'm sure, but I would assume that all the cult is still down there.
Do you want to go make babies with the cult, or do you want to? But a lot of people do choose, and so, but a lot of them think that they are walking to their deaths too. They just don't want to be cooped up in a silo anymore.
They took a lot of convincing to get Walk to go.
They think.
Which I'm still trying to figure out how in the hell Walk.
He was already at the bottom. He was already at the bottom of the silo. How he got out.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, he was already located at the bottom.
That's true.
So he didn't have that long to walk. Anyway, so she convinced him, but most of them think it's a death trap anyway, that Juliet's just crazy, but we're going to die here anyway. So why not just, F it and go, you know?
So they get all the
suits ready to go.
And then they get all the oxygen tanks from supply, which they've been using for welding and stuff like that. Yeah. It's like, oh, of course.
Yeah. So you put everything together.
Do that. They
make these super suits, just like hers was, and they know how to do it because they've done it before.
They have an oxygen tank and like 4 or 5 guys to each tank.
Yeah. And so they
start walking.
They begin their trek, and as they make their trek, they finally get to green grass, and they're like, "Whoa." Who's the first person to take off their helmet? Is it Juliet?
Her dad.
Her dad does.
Yeah, she was going to do it, but her dad stopped her and did it himself.
Yeah, because he wants to see if it's a risk or not. They see green grass, they see blue sky, they see everything.
He's like the only doctor.
Well, anyway.
Well, I think that was not so much doctor as much as father.
Father, daughter.
That's true.
So he takes off. He takes the first breath and starts laughing. She takes off. Walk waits till his oxygen tank is out of. He does not trust anyone.
He's about to asphyxiate.
He's waiting for everyone else to die, and then when he's about to die, he finally takes off his helmet.
Which I get. There was going to be that.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. I love that was Walt though. And anyway, they're laughing. They go into the silo. They cannot believe all this stuff. These notes.
Yeah. They make it to a real silo.
They
with
find
seeds and
at the bottom is the platform where the drill was supposed to come.
Yeah.
An introduction to them. So that's where they got the instructions at the bottom of the silo.
Right.
But they went backwards through it, and they find everything in there, and they discover something that they really like drinking, coffee.
Is that what it was?
I thought it was coffee. Was it wine?
I'm assuming.
I assumed it was coffee.
I'm thinking wine. Most people's first
the women are drinking, going, "What is this? I don't know. It's good." So maybe it is wine.
People's first experience with coffee is usually not.
They never say, but that's because the characters don't know what it is.
Right. They don't know what to call it.
And now, oddly enough, Solo is the leader because he's the only one who studied the books.
Skills. Yeah.
And he knows how to hunt. He knows what you do because he knows the world.
He knows how to fish.
So in the world where in the silo world, he was a man child who had zero he was zero help. Now in this new world,
shooting.
I know.
And I would say the thing is, the only aspect of that pointless bit with the cult is Silo needed something.
Well, I know to grow, the stepstone. I got it.
So
I got it.
That was.
I get it, but you don't have to. I don't think you need a cult to do that.
You don't need a sex
It was
cult
clumsily done. It needed to happen, but it was clumsy.
There's other things they could have done with a panic crowd that's in Silo 7. Him kind of standing up. But in either way, though. But she sees him as, hey, one day he may be the mayor. We may be following him because right now he's the only one who has the most knowledge about what the world was like. And so he's teaching them. Just like the books were supposed to teach them, he's the only one who got to read the books, so he's the only one that knows. Yeah. So everyone's kind of following him now. It's a total 180.
Yeah. Well, you also then run into Charlotte.
Charlotte comes. She thinks
she's asphyxiating too.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm running out of air, and
Juliet thinks that this is. First off, she thinks it's someone from her silo 17, who decided to follow. She's so happy. Then she sees the girl. She's like, what? And she was like, oh, maybe this is a girl that saw us traveling, from a different silo, and she decided to join us. And then as she speaks, Juliet's like, what? And Charlotte, and then they cry, laugh, And then, of course, she's out looking at the stars, with Lucas and with Alicia, right? Elise. Yeah. And they name the star. She said, what about that? What do you want to name that? That already has a name.
Yeah.
Oh. No. All right, but so that's kind of, they're starting a new world now. It's going to be a new world.
They decide to head to the coast.
Yeah.
The thing is,
they know I thought it was a lake.
The thing is, there are other silos that can eventually reach the point where they escape to this point, and they realize we're going to move on.
Yeah.
And they even leave a bunch of food
in the silo for those people.
And
a note, I think, to say, come join us.
Now, we realize that most of the silos have died by this point.
Yeah, we still don't know what's happened.
We don't know how many
40?
Exactly.
Was it 40 that?
Yeah, we
that
never.
cut off
40's
all
a mystery.
Yeah,
40's a mystery, and then the other ones around it that started blacking out too.
Yeah, right. The thing is, I got the impression that most of the silos were considered dead at this point, and so they're moving on, leaving for whatever might come behind them, because there are other silos that are still alive, but not that many.
Yeah, well, see, all the heads of the silo are no longer going to have Silo 1,
and so they might
that's
be
the
moving
thing.
In that direction.
So
soon.
they're going to be. Well, the thing is though, now they're never going to know instructions. They're never going to know what to do, and they're never going to find the silo.
Spoilers for the short stories, Matt.
That's true.
Oh my goodness.
It's not spoilers for the short stories. It has nothing to do.
I'm messing with you.
But anyway,
they're never going to find the other side. So their only way out is to go out the airlocks.
All right. So overall, trilogy.
Excellent.
It's fantastic.
Excellent. I do think that 3 was probably the weakest.
Yes.
Well, I mean, there's no more. I mean, there is 1 or 2 more surprises in there, but all the big surprises have been unraveled now. Now we got to finish the story. I understand Act 3 has to be Act 3.
Right.
But I'm fine with that because we need that.
There was
ending.
still that twist of
there's still
everything around the silo
was being.
bad,
we were poisoning it. That was the last twist.
Yeah.
But the thing is that there's no more of the mystery to unfold, which that was the fun part, was unlocking the mysteries from the first 2 books.
Yeah.
But to me, I understand you couldn't do that much afterwards. Now it's time for the big finale, and we pushed all the way through it. The series as a whole is well worth your time. I'm glad you finally got to read it. This is your first time reading it.
Yeah.
Love it.
I loved it.
I was rereading it. I told Megan, I said, Meg, I know you hate reading, but you've got to read that. I mean, every time I kept reading another chapter, I was like, this is just perfect.
Yeah.
It's a great book. So there you go. Silo series. Go out and read it. Come back next week as we review
the short stories.
The short stories written by Hugh Howley.
Yeah.
But not the others.
very, very short stories.
Very short stories. On Princes of the Universe.